Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things fishing. I'm your buddy, and today we're diving deep into what promises to be a truly fascinating day on the water. Monday, the 15th of December, 2025. Now, if you're like me, you're probably bundled up and dreaming of those hard water bites or finding that secret open water hotspot. This day, friends, is going to be a real test of skill and knowledge, but also a chance for some truly rewarding catches, especially for those who know where to look. We've got some interesting weather patterns coming in for the Midwest, particularly around the Great Lakes region, and understanding them will be your key to success. First up, let's talk about some specific tactics for key species. For the Sauger and Walleye friends, this is prime time for river systems, especially below dams. The tailwater areas on rivers like the Mississippi, Illinois, and Rock are going to be magnets. The turbulence here disorients baitfish, turning it into an easy buffet for these predators. Look for deeper areas, steep drop-offs, and where those baitfish schools are getting pushed around. Vertical jigging is your best friend here. Use jigs tipped with live minnows, think 3 to 4 inch shiners or fatheads. If they're aggressive, plastic shad bodies on your jigs in natural matching colors will do the trick. A slow, steady lift and fall presentation is usually best, but don't be afraid to experiment with a little more action if the bite is slow. Next, let's target crappie. Crappie are going to be schooling up tightly in deeper, more stable water. Look for them around submerged structures like brush piles, fallen trees, and deep weed lines in canals, ponds, and smaller lakes that haven't completely frozen over. If there's ice, target those same deep spots, especially where sunlight might penetrate later in the day. Small jigs like a 1-inch gulp-alive minnow on a tiny lead head or a panfish roadrunner are excellent choices. A small jig under a float with a pull-and-pause retrieve can be deadly. Remember, they're still active feeders, especially around midday, when the water gets a slight bump in temperature, and for the big bruisers of the Great Lakes, lake trout, steelhead, and brown trout, your focus should be on deep bays and the tributaries that flow into the Great Lakes. Lake trout love those 40 to 50 degree Fahrenheit waters, so they'll be in deeper pools, around underwater points, with boulders, humps, reefs, and sharp drop-offs. Steelhead and brown trout will be staging in tributary rivers, especially after a rise in water levels. Look for them in current breaks, behind boulders, and in deeper runs or undercut banks as the water clears. For lake trout, heavy jigging spoons or trolling with lead core line to get your offerings deep will be effective. For steelhead and brown trout in rivers, try natural egg patterns, small jigs, or drifting wax worms under a float. My little trick for you, always fish where your boots can't reach. Deeper spots are key. Now let's break down the conditions for Monday, the 15th of December 2025, focusing on the Great Lakes region, specifically around Chicago. We're looking at air temperatures between a chilly 23 and 25 degrees Fahrenheit, or about -5 to -4 degrees Celsius. It's going to be mostly cloudy, with only a 10% chance of snow during the day and night. The humidity will be around 70%. The atmospheric pressure should be relatively stable, which is usually a good thing, but the overall cold trend means fish metabolism will be slow. This cool, stable but cold weather often means fish will be less active and holding tight to cover or deeper, more stable areas. Lighter winds are often preferred by anglers on a cold day, as they make for more comfortable fishing and less current disruption. Across the Great Lakes, water temperatures are hovering around 40 to 43 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 4 to 6 degrees Celsius. While some areas might be starting to skim over with ice, especially in shallower bays and smaller lakes, the main bodies of the Great Lakes will largely be open. The colder water pushes fish to seek out warmer, more stable environments, which means deeper water, or, critically, warm water discharges from power plants. These discharges can be absolute magnets for fish, creating small pockets of much more active fishing. Keep an eye out for these hot spots. For our moon phase on the 15th of December, we're in a waning crescent with about 12 to 20% illumination. This means the moon is 25 to 26 days old and getting closer to the new moon. Many anglers believe the waning crescent is a neutral to slower fishing period, as the moon's gravitational pull is lessening. It's not typically associated with aggressive feeding frenzies, so expect fish to be a bit more finicky. This means precision and patience will be more important than ever. Overall, friends, fish activity on this mid-December day will be on the slower side. This is typical for winter as their metabolism has dropped. Largemouth bass, for instance, are notoriously tough to catch in the latter half of December. However, species like Sauger, Crappie, lake trout, and even steelhead and brown trout in specific locations can still provide excellent action if you adapt your approach. So, I'd rate the overall bite as capricious to good except, meaning it'll be challenging if you're not dialed in, but potentially very rewarding if you target the right species with the right tactics in the right spots. The chilly air temperatures, hovering around 25 degrees Fahrenheit, combined with lake water temperatures around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, mean fish will be conserving energy. They'll be holding tight to structure in deeper, more stable thermal zones. The waning crescent moon suggests a generally less aggressive bite. But don't despair, my little secret for you. Focus on those thermal refuges, deep holes, submerged cover, and especially any warm water discharges. That's where you'll find the most consistent action. So there you have it, my friends, your detailed forecast for Monday, the 15th of December, 2025. It's going to be a cold one, but with the right approach, you can still make it an epic day on the water. Get out there, stay warm, and remember, adaptation is the name of the winter fishing game. May your lines be tight and your coolers full. Good luck out there. Before you go, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments below. What are your go-to winter fishing spots and techniques? What kind of fish are you hoping to tangle with this winter? Share your wisdom, and let's keep this awesome community growing.